to the Dawgs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
What's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. Just Justin and Blake tonight. It was kind of tough to get everybody's schedules lined up this week, so Josh and Kenny jumped on and did an episode for you guys earlier. Now, Justin and myself wanted to give you guys some thoughts on the happenings in the Browns world, so we decided to get on here and do one ourselves. Before we get into it, though, remember, if you want to get thoughts and intros on the show, head to thedogspodcast.com, tap leave voicemail on the drop-down menu. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Make sure you tap the notification bell so you don't miss any of the new content we're putting out. You can also become a YouTube member, 99 cents a month, help support the show. And those are always fun when we do our live draft. You get all the Browns emojis, so the chat's a lot of fun. Again, that's only 99 cents a month. If you prefer to just listen to the show, you can find us on Apple, Spotify, and Google. You can find us on any of the major social media platforms. Just search at the Dawgs Podcast. And lastly, if you're looking for more Dawgs content, head to jointhedawgs.com, become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon page, access to the private Discord, fantasy football with us. It's right around the corner. We're going to have to start putting leagues together soon. We usually get so many leagues. It takes a while to get everybody organized and divvied up. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you jump into the Dog Pack so you don't miss out on playing fantasy football with us this year. It's a ton of fun. You get to be on the show sometimes, and it's a good, everybody who's in there, we've all, not everybody, but a good chunk of us have all met in person now, been to Browns games together, been to Browns hangouts. So it's a ton of fun. And if it's something you're interested in, that's jointhedawgs.com to become an official Dog Pack member. Also, I just remembered I was supposed to, if you live local to Tuscarawas or Stark County, the Tuscarawas County Browns backers are having a big event. They're bringing in multiple former Browns players to the local bowling alley. And I'm pulling up the information here because I almost forgot that I wanted to promote this for them tonight. So I'm doing it on the fly. Bear with me. If I swear I'm a professional. Okay, but it's going to be Saturday, June 21st from noon to 5 p.m. at Wabash Lanes in New Philadelphia. So if you're local to Tuscarawas or Stark County, you can find that pretty easy. It's not too far away. There's going to be appearances by Felix Wright, Mike Pruitt, Greg Pruitt, Travis Tucker, Anthony Griggs, Clayton Callender, and then local boxer Dre Donovan. He's actually from down here. He's very good. Okay. He's a professional boxer. So he's also going to be there. They're going to be giving away autographs, or not giving away. You can buy autographs, get pictures, all this good stuff. You can reserve a lane for $150, includes up to 6 bowlers. Each bowler gets an autograph from each athlete. So that $150 gets you an autograph. Bowling lanes are limited to first come, first serve. So you have to RSVP. So make sure you do that. And you can RSVP by contacting Rich Desecker, Jason Haney, or email the Browns backers at tcbrownsbackers@gmail.com. I'm not going to read off their phone numbers on the internet for them just because I don't know if they want that, but we're going to be posting this information on our socials. So if you follow us on any of those, you'll be able to find that. Again, Rich and the guys over at the Tuscarawas County Browns backers are awesome, and they've really done a lot of work in the last 2 years to get the T County Browns backers it's really good. They've had a lot of help from our good friend Kenny Mack to really kind of make it a very legit club. So if you're interested in that, come, bowl, eat, drink, get some autographs, and just hang out with a ton of Cleveland Browns legends. So that's going to be a good time. So I wanted to make sure I shouted that out for Rich and the guys over at the Tuscarawas County Browns backers. So now that that's done, I'm still learning some things. There we go. I got to figure it out. The biggest thing we wanted to talk about today, the Mac. I'm pretty good with the Mac, but there's still every once in a while something happens, and I'm like, I don't know what to do right here. I just start hitting the escape button until I get back to where I need to be. But obviously, Colorado had their pro day after a night out with the Browns brass, we'll call it. They took Travis and Shedeur out to dinner together. The Browns sent freaking everybody. I'm surprised we weren't invited. That's kind of the way it seemed like everybody was in Colorado for I think they called it a showcase. Dion likes to spice things up. But from what I'm hearing, I guess before we even get to what we saw on the field, a couple, interesting things happened. After meeting with Shedeur, the Giants canceled their meeting, their private workout or whatever with Shedeur. Or not the Giants, the Titans. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
So the Titans. I think that the Titans are pretty much I think it's Cam Ward. I think we can all agree it's been Cam Ward. And just like up until like maybe earlier today, it's been quarterback for us, I feel like. But now we're here, maybe not, probably more so not. But it's been Cam Ward, and I guess I've been big on this in terms of they went and hired an offensive coach. Their offense wasn't good. They needed a quarterback, and they had the number 1 pick in the draft, and they have a chance to get the guy that everybody's saying is head and shoulders better than all the other quarterbacks in the draft. They're going to take the quarterback. To me, there's no mystery in that whatsoever.
No, I agree. I'm 100% with you, man. I think it kind of signifies that basically, they kind of had a handshake deal that, hey, you don't have to work out. Don't risk injury, for Sanders. I think as watching it from afar, with hopes that maybe Cam Ward falls to 2 for a little bit, I was like, well, maybe they're interested in Abdul Carter. Maybe they're interested in somebody else, other than Cam Ward. Just as the weeks kind of played out, you kind of watch them fall in love with him as a player, much like you heard, coming out of the Browns camp, that they really loved what they saw from Cam Ward too. So I think this just kind of signifies that even though it's not said, it's not done, it's pretty much done. Cam Ward is off the board. And I think you can go to pick 2 now,
Yep. So that brings us then to the Browns on the clock. I found it intriguing that after meeting with the Browns, Travis Hunter all of a sudden wasn't going to work out at the pro day anymore. He was supposed to work out, do all the stuff, and then it was he's not going to do anything. And then you found out he'll run a couple routes, and it almost looks like it was a spur of the moment decision. Just no gloves. I don't. Maybe no. He just looked like he was. They were like, "Do you want to go run some routes?" And he's like, I guess I can go run a couple routes." Like he didn't look like he was in his like workout gear. I guess I don't know. He just didn't look like no gloves and nothing. Just oh yeah, I guess I'll go run a couple routes on the air and show you guys I can catch and run. And I found it interesting that he went from supposed to work out, canceled. I'm going to run a couple routes in front of the team that is said in the public they see me as a wide receiver. So, and then now we're hearing reports, Adam Schefter saying he's hearing it's more than likely going to be Travis Hunter at 2. Is that kind of the vibe you're getting after the pro day and what we're hitting?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like after you watch the pro day, I don't know how much of it you got to watch, but if you got to watch Travis Hunter, it's impressive, man. The kid is super, super impressive. Had a chance to just go out there and run routes. And I mean, he looked good, dude. He looked shifty, he looked explosive. The crazy thing for me is, and we talk about this all the time, it's that kind of time of the year, man. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of misdirection going on just in the league in general across all teams. Are the Browns buying into that also? And, are they still on the Sanders train or, maybe they've gotten off? I know, in my personal opinion, I think the Browns are there to see both those guys, but one of those guys are going at 2. I mean, I would be absolutely shocked right now at this point, with 2-3 weeks ago until the draft, if we didn't take one of those 2 guys at 2.
No,
based on our needs.
No, 100%. And I've been 100% on the quarterback train, and I still am on the quarterback train. But I think like if we're gonna get one of these 2 guys, I'll be happy with the way the draft is going. And I guess I was a little bit shocked. I won't say shocked, but I heard that Shedeur did well. And I heard some scouts say like the arm looked stronger than what maybe they thought it was going to be, and that like he only had a couple incompletions and a few of them were drops. So
yes.
I heard like he did everything he needed to do to pretty much solidify himself as QB2. And I thought, man, if the Browns need a quarterback and they like Shedeur and then he has this kind of performance, that's going to lock him in at 2. So the other thing that tells me is that Travis Hunter is just that much better at being a wide receiver than Shedeur Sanders is at being a quarterback in the Browns' eyes. And he's just too good of a player to pass up to put next to Jerry Jeudy and David Njoku and hopefully whatever explosive running back we draft in this class. And it makes you start to think like, and again, I've been as hardcore it's got to be quarterback as anybody, but I start thinking, man, David Njoku, Jerry Jeudy, Travis Hunter. You throw in a healthy Cedric Tillman as your number 3. You go get a Travion Henderson or a Quinshon Judkins or something to put in the backfield. All of a sudden, like the offense, if we're going to get back to what we think and the offensive line is going to play at the level that we think they are because of the scheme change and whatnot, all of a sudden you're going, maybe this offense is pretty good. And especially if we can make a move for Kirk Cousins, like all of a sudden this offense, I'm going, okay, we can score points. Like we can score points with this offense.
No, I agree with you, man. I'm with you. I like the idea of Travis Hunter if he comes in as a wide receiver. And don't get me wrong, the kid's a great quarterback, but we got needs at wide receiver. And I think it's very telling of his pro day too. You notice he didn't take one, rep on defense. It was all routes. It was all just, hey, let me show you what I'm doing out here. The thing, and I think we're going to go into it, is if you take Travis Hunter, I think there's an absolute still terrifying void at the quarterback position. So it's like, pick your poison. Like what's worse right now? Is it the fact that we have not a lot of weapons at all? You know what I mean? We could barely score 15 points last season. So, it's alarming right now. When you look at the depth chart, you're like, holes everywhere. It's very, very alarming. But then you go, okay, well, hey, plug in Travis Hunter. You got what people think is a generational talent at wide receiver.
He's getting prime Odell Beckham comps.
Yeah. No, I know, bro. Trust me, I'm absolutely aware. I think he's special. But then you go, okay, well, who's going to throw him the damn ball then? Are we still, as Browns fans, are we really, really comfortable rolling into the season with Kenny Pickett as a quarterback? Because for me, if that's it, and we're like, hey, Kevin's going to, lift this guy's game up that much, okay, but going into the year, like week 1, right before the game, I'm going to be like, man, there's a good chance we could be absolute burnt toast this year. We could be trash.
How much faith do we put in Stefanski to milk a quarterback again, like for all their work?
For everything.
You know what I mean? Like,
for everything.
Can he do it again? And because we saw him do it, and obviously Baker's bounced back to be, to be better than he ever was when he was in Cleveland. It took a fall off of a cliff and hitting a lot of branches on the way down for him to pick himself back up by the bootstraps and get to where he is now. But we saw Baker coming off an awful season with Freddie, and Kevin give him a great season. And they worked well together. I won't say just gave it to him. I don't want to try to take too much credit away from Baker, and then we saw him get career ball out of Jacoby Brissett. We saw him lead the game against the 49ers with PJ Walker. Like, Kevin Stefanski has been able to milk maybe QBs with not great talent and got them to play at a pretty decent level. And so if you're the Browns, you're going, Kenny Pickett was a first-round pick. He was a very good college quarterback, and we think if we put these weapons around him in a running game, and this offensive line plays up to the way what we think they can play when we get back to doing what they do best, Kenny Pickett can come in here. I've heard Sam Darnold's name thrown around in terms of what they think they can do in like a career resurrection. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
Like, again, I'm not sitting on here telling you I
was going to say, do you believe that? Do you really believe that?
I have a lot of faith in Kevin.
Me too.
To do that kind of stuff. Do I think how much juice is there to squeeze out of Kenny Pickett? I guess is because he's a little smaller. He's got the small, like at least Sam Darnold, when he walks into a room, you're like, that guy plays NFL quarterback. Kenny Pickett walks into a room, you're like, that guy's a professional pickleball player. You know what I mean? Like, he's got small hands. He's just not very big. So it's how much juice is there to squeeze out of him? Can he play at a high enough level for us to compete and play well? It's yet to be seen. I'd much rather get Kirk Cousins for the year. Like, that's just me. But am I willing to pass on the quarterback to get Travis Hunter at 2 and be willing to risk the season being Kenny Pickett? I think I'm starting to warm up to the idea. Like, the more I'm watching Travis Hunter and hearing the pro comps and everybody just what he can do with the ball in his hands, it's like, is this a guy that you don't put on your team? You know what I mean? Like,
his film is outrageous. It's outrageous, man. Like you watch it and it's the contested catch stuff, like the off-target catch stuff.
His ball skills are crazy. His
crazy
and like I think I said it a couple weeks ago. Dion said there's no such thing as a jump ball with Travis Hunter. It's his ball. Like you're throwing it to Travis. There is no jump ball. If it's up in his area, he's going to be the one who gets it.
I heard a crazy stat over his college career. I think he had 200 and somewhere in 210 area as far as like targets. He had 4 drops. Yeah. I mean, just outrageous. And 3 of them were last year. You know what I mean? On 92 receptions or whatever. So the kid's legit. And then if you watch the film too, man, like you see some of these throws and you're like, man, I don't know if Travis Hunter's not on the other end of that. I think maybe Shedeur Sanders' accuracy numbers are a little lower. You know what I mean? Like some of the stuff I'm like, wow, that shouldn't be a catch. It shouldn't be a reception.
And you know what he's like putting on the film and what people are saying about him is good because like a month ago, I said, if we don't take a quarterback, Travis Hunter's still a guy I don't know if I'm sold on. And now I'm going, maybe we should take him instead of a quarterback and just risk this being a Kenny Pickett season.
Think about how wild this is on top of just what he just came off of, like where I think he's probably the best athlete in college. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He played 1,400 snaps, man. And dominated on offense. You know what I mean? Imagine if that's solely what he is out there to do is just be a wide receiver, no fatigue. You know what I mean? Like I imagine playing both sides of the ball all game is exhausting. I guarantee I couldn't do that.
I did it at the high school level. Obviously not the same, but
did you I was not have 92 receptions?
So I was not running 40-yard routes. I was doing 2 little kickback steps. So a lot less cardio involved.
Hey, Browns fans, we just want to remind you guys, go check out the Living for We podcast. Living for We, keep your head up, addresses the troubles of gun violence and offers solutions for those who want to better their community. You'll hear from Amir and Drew, 2 black men who picked up a gun as kids because they felt they had no other choice. Andre Taylor, a community leader stepping into schools to break the cycle. Walter Patton, founder of Ghetto Therapy, bringing mental health support straight into the neighborhood. These are real stories, real struggles, and real solutions. Living for We is an award-winning podcast from Idea Stream Public Media, part of the Connecting the Dots Between Race and Health initiative. This season, host Maureen Harris-Taylor and her new co-host Maisha Watkins, executive director of the Cleveland Peacemakers, bring you stories from the front lines, victims, survivors, and those fighting for change. New episodes drop every Tuesday, and they started last month on February 11th. Listen to Living for We wherever you get your podcast or watch the video version on IdeaStream's YouTube channel. Learn more at ideastream.com/podcast/living-for-we. This episode is sponsored by Omaha Steaks. Browns fan, the best thing about spring, aside from the NFL draft, of course, is grilling outside, getting out in the nice weather, and cooking up your favorite foods from Omaha Steaks. From their handcrafted steaks to spring grilling favorites, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. Enjoy USDA certified tender steaks, juicy burgers, and so much more. I talk all the time. You guys know my freezer is stocked full of Omaha Steaks products all year round, but now it's finally time to get outside, fire up the grill, and do everything the right way. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety, and every single bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. And each steak is perfectly aged to maximize tenderness and hand-cut by their master butchers. So bring home the world's best steak experience with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their spring savings event. And for an extra $30 off, use promo code BARK, B-A-R-K, at checkout. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $30 off with promo code BARK when you check out. See site for details.
I did see a quote from Dion today, and he was talking about how Travis playing both ways is more conducive to the NFL game because he says it's a much slower paced game. There's so much time between plays, so many more TV timeouts, like everything is just longer. It's such a much time in between plays that he was like, Travis, if he plays one way in the NFL, he's going to be running laps after the game because he's going to have so much energy. In college, is all about tempo, running a play every 15 seconds nonstop. And then I saw a comment on that said he might physically be able to play at a high level both ways. The biggest issue is going to be mental, like the preparation it takes to be great at this level with the film study and all that stuff. To do that on one side of the ball, it takes a ton of extra time. To be able to do that on two, you can't be. There's just no way to be mentally prepared in as much as you need to be at this level, like studying everybody's tendencies and all this stuff. But what I do like the idea of is he's a wide receiver. He's a 99.999% wide receiver. But say you have a game and it's a close game in the fourth quarter and the other team is got Jamar Chase or whatever out there and he's been cooking us. And you say, Travis, it's boxing one, this fourth quarter, we're not going to let Jamar Chase beat us. I just need you to go out there on defense, and you're man on Jamar. It doesn't matter what defense, it's boxing one, basketball, lingo here. You're man on Jamar for the fourth quarter. We need a couple stops. You know what I mean? Like, that is something you don't have to do. Obviously, he'll have to do some studying a little bit like that to see what Jamar does, because Jamar's an elite. And that's just an example. But I'm saying you don't have to know. Like, you can just be a freak athlete in a great corner, go out and play some man, obviously, you know what I mean? To an extent. Obviously, it helps to study receivers' tendencies, but I like to use them in spot situations like that in terms of, or it's the fourth quarter, it's a 2-minute drive, we need to stop. We're going to put you out there as an extra corner or something like that to help get the stop, to seal the game. Like, I could see him being used in situations like that.
I agree, man. I don't want him. I'm not saying I don't want him not out there on defense, but I think that if you use him sparingly, you know what I mean? If you need a big third down stop, throw him out there, man. You know what I mean? Especially, who knows, like as injuries are going to pile up down the year, let's say Newsom's out or MJ's out. You got to plug a guy in, plug him in, man. But I do want him primarily when I look at him and I go, man, this guy could be a legit, like, top 5 receiver in the NFL. You know what I mean? With production, like if he sees the reps, and I don't think it's that crazy long term if he just, overtakes Judy. I could see that down the road, or you know what I mean? I think he's that electric. And obviously we have to get the quarterback figured out, but the kid's a stud.
If we bring in Travis Hunter to play offense, and we put him with Judy, and we put him with Njoku, and we go get an explosive running back, and Cedric Tillman's back healthy, all of a sudden I feel a lot better about the offense in terms of, a quarterback being back there that can, at least he has some weapons to work with, and
sure.
Kevin being back to calling the plays and being a little bit more with what he's comfortable with scheme wise and all that good stuff. So, The other big talking points coming out now is there a scenario in which if the Browns pass on Shedeur at 2, they take Travis Hunter, can they get back up and get them both, essentially? And to me, I don't see any world in which this happens. The only way this would happen, I think, is if he slips into the 20s, maybe there's a chance. But I don't think he's going to slip into the 10s, to be honest.
I don't either. I don't think, like, me personally, and I could be way off here, everybody's predicting, Sanders and Dart and these guys to kind of slide a little bit. You're hearing that. I don't buy that at all, man. I watched last year. It was just an absolute frenzy for quarterback. And it's like that. It feels like it's like that every year. You know what I mean? You see guys get their draft position gets absolutely increased up. They get pushed up the board because of their position. The thing for me is, like, if you're not going to take quarterback at 2, I think that you really have to look at you have to start exploring the bridge quarterback thing again. You know what I mean? Because then, unless we're really, really serious about Kenny Pickett's going to be our quarterback. But my thing is, if you're going to do that, at least go and explore it. Go and call Atlanta. See what it's going to take to get Kirk Cousins,
what would you give
in Cleveland.
Would you give up a 4th for 2 years as starter play?
I think I'd probably give up a 4th, but I think you could probably, depending on how the salary, you know what I mean, who's paying what and stuff like that, you could probably even throw a 5th out there. You know what I mean? Like,
Joe Milton just got traded for a 5th, and he's 10 years younger. And obviously Kirk has the more prestigious career, but maybe you start with a 6th or a 7th and just you know what I mean? Like, because and see what they're willing to negotiate with. I mean, Joe Milton kind of set with that backup quarterback market. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They're obviously not the same player, but like I said, Joe Milton's significantly younger, not coming off 2 seasons worth of injuries and not heading into the twilight of his career.
Right. The big argument I always hear is like, I guess who's left over. You can have, you can try to pursue a trade, I guess, for Kirk Cousins if they're not going to cut or release him, which I don't think they're going to. And then like the other big name that's kind of floating around still is Joe Flacco. I think if you don't draft a quarterback, you probably have to go get one of these two guys. And I don't think either is like an immediate solution. Like, I like the upside. I don't think Kirk is done. I think he was super banged up. I think you watch his numbers, like weeks 1 through 9, dude was kind of balling out. He gets hurt and he falls off a cliff. I think it was like something wild with the numbers. Like, he only threw so many interceptions. And then after that injury, it was 1 touchdown, 9 picks. Like, it was a complete 180 on what you would expect from him.
Do people not remember that Tampa Bay game? He threw for like 504 touchdowns or something.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Well, I think that should be the last thing you remember, because like right after that is where it got really, really bad. Got benched for a rookie, and I think he still wants to start. So I guess it's how much is Atlanta going to value him? Because he's a backup quarterback in Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like, but obviously he would probably be the starter in Cleveland if he came. So I think you throw something at him. You see, if you could see how much they're going to pay on the contract, or how much, we could maybe take on. I don't know what the numbers are right now. I think the last time I saw, we were like 13 in the green, which, I think you bring him in. He hasn't been restructured yet. So you bring him in, you restructure him. And then, you see what you can do if you can kick that down the road for a couple of years like everybody else, and see what you can make of it. But I think if it's down between Kirk Cousins and Joe Flacco, you're obviously going to have to pay a little bit for Kirk Cousins as far as draft capital. But I think there's a couple more years still left with Kirk. I don't know. I can't tell you for sure that we're going to see that from Joe Flacco. It might start off like that. It might be weeks 1 through, let's say, 4 or 5. I think that you could see almost like that rebirthing of what we saw 2 years ago. But I just don't know if he can make it. I guess either one of the guys, I'm not sure that they can make it through a whole season.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, we were as wacko for Flacco as everybody.
Yeah.
But do we not remember how many interceptions the guy threw? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, to me, that was lightning in a bottle that you kind of, I won't call it luck, but it just happened to be, we played some bad defenses and he just got him into a system. And if you watch, he was playing, which is why he threw so many picks, with nothing to lose. He just ripped it. You know what I mean? And even the ones that didn't get picked, there were some windows he was throwing this ball into that was like, holy
Chicago game.
Like, I can't.
Chicago game.
He got that through there. Like, if he's a split second late, that's picked, and there was a lot
going to the house.
So,
yeah.
And then a couple that he was, they were picks. So I'd rather have Kirk Cousins. I saw Josh posted something. I guess G. Bush proposed a trade where the Browns would give up basically like 33 in whatever like our next 3 or 4 picks were to move back up to 8 to get Carolina. First of all, Carolina is not moving out at 8 with no first round pick in return. Second of all, I'm not giving. We have way too many offensive holes to give up 4 draft picks for the guy. Like, we just did that with a quarterback. Are we trying to do that again? I guess if you don't take a quarterback at 2, though, a lot of people will be clamoring for like I don't know why it's just clamoring
a thumbs down
for like Jalen Milroe at 33, and like Josh is freaking hopped on the Jalen Milroe train. He's watching to edit this right now. I don't care about how explosive of an athlete he is. Like, the guy couldn't win at Alabama. They missed the playoff in a 12-team playoff at Alabama. Like, that's unheard of. It just, I don't care that he played with Tommy Rees for 1 year, and it was even statistically his best year. It still wasn't like what we see out of high level, like high profile quarterbacks in college. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just, if you could get Jalen Milroe in the 5th or the 4th, and he's not going to play for 3 years, okay. To go get, I'm not spending 33 on him. I give me Travion Henderson over him all day and every day.
I guess so. I agree. I think we have too many holes where at 33, any of them that you're going to have to trade up. I think it puts a lot of things at jeopardy unless you're just going into the offseason going, hey, we're just going to throw whoever in there. You know what I mean? Let me ask you this, though. I guess, so let's say we don't take a quarterback at 2 and we're not able to get Kirk Cousins. Do you think they should make the move for Flacco just to have him as somebody over Kenny Pickett? Or are you cool with Kenny?
I'd probably just roll with Kenny, honestly.
Right? Okay.
Younger, healthier, more athletic. And if we're rolling with Kenny Pickett, at least the way we stand now, maybe a month into the season, I'll feel different. We're not going anywhere this season anyways. So just like in adding Joe Flacco, I don't think takes us any further. So I just roll with Kenny Pickett, see what you got. But I'm not giving up all those picks because we need, not only do we need, we'll get the receiver at 2. We still need a running back. I fucking hate this. If you're just listening, I don't know. I don't know why it does this. Somebody in the comments tell me, but I hold my hands up and it sees my thumb in a bubble. Thumb up comes up on the screen. But we'll have the receiver. You still need, I'm saying, at least one running back. Like how much people are saying, the longer Nick Chubb sits, the better it is for the Browns. And I had never badmouthed Nick Chubb, but what do we expect out of him anyways if we do resign him? Like, can you bank on him for anything this year? I feel like anything you get out of him is a bonus. And you can't bank on it. I'm still adding 2 running backs probably.
I mean, and I also don't want to bash Nick Chubb because he's probably my favorite Browns player of all time. But isn't it telling that he's been out there available in free agency this whole time, and you're not hearing a peep?
Yeah,
you're not hearing anything. And I mean, if he was able to be back to, let's say, at least pretty close to 100% of himself, he would not be on the market. He would not. I'm hoping that maybe you bring him in on like an incentive deal, at least so there's, a guy in there. Because right now, to me, if it's Jerome Ford and Pierre Strong, we have a lot of work to do. That's like with the whole pick situation. You need to add a young running back, maybe 2. So to me, I'm like, if you can get him in cheap, I guess great. Is he going to be a workhorse back like he used to be? It's the longer after the last 2 seasons, it's harder and harder to believe that.
No, yeah, I'm not. Like I said, to me, if we can bring Nick Chubb back and anything we get out of him, if he looks good, that is just like, that's bonus. I'm still taking hopefully one of these 2 Ohio State running backs. I might be drafting 2 running backs this year. I might not be touching a defensive player till round 5. And I want Harold Fannin possibly. I saw we just brought in the Miami Hurricanes tight end for a visit, or we're about to. So I think we're going to be loading up on offense in the draft. I think that's the only way we can field a competitive football team this year, is to go get a bunch of young weapons on offense and hope that they can gel and mesh and learn the playbook quick. So I'm not giving up all those picks to move back up. Again, if Shedeur slides and he hits pick 20 and he's still there, then maybe I'll start floating some things out where we give up 33 and I don't know, something next year, a second or a third, or I don't know what people are thinking it would take to move up 10 spots to get back up into the low 20s. Then I would consider it, obviously. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I think it's going to be a running back at 33, hopefully. I guess it all depends on how the board's going too. If no running backs have been picked except for Ashton Genty yet, maybe you don't have to take one at 33. But if Henderson and Ashton Genty and like somebody else, Amari and Hampton are already gone by the time you get to 33, which I doubt 3 first-round running backs, but who knows? Then I'm like, okay, I'm not missing out on one of these guys. I'm going to get one because that's arguably. I think the Browns struggled so much on offense this year in the red zone because we had no run game. Yeah, we were putting up, how many games did we put up 400 yards of offense and we had 12 points, 14 points because once you got inside the red zone, the field shrink, we had no run game. We're one dimensional, couldn't move the ball inside the 20s, and then we'd miss field goals because our kicker. That's another thing. Did we get another kicker? I don't remember.
Not yet.
That's a glaring hole.
Yeah, we got some. We've got some, bro.
So, yeah, I just talked my way into realizing that we need a kicker. So great. It's awesome being a Browns fan.
Yes.
But that's where I stand on all that. Was there anything else, or should we go ahead and wrap it up? It's getting late.
I think we should just wrap this up.
I agree. I got video games to play.
I got to go to bed.
I got
It's very late.
I'm going to the Cavs game tomorrow too. I need to be well rested so I can go cheer on the Cavs.
Yes. Cheer for me also.
I will, extra loud. I'm sitting up pretty high, but I got like center court, but I'm in the top section.
Oh, well, the way that the sound works is it echoes down perfectly right to the players. So just, let them know you're there. Hashtag let them know.
All right, we'll wrap this thing up. I remembered to hit record this time. Last time I did one of these from home, I did not hit record. So if you're listening to this, consider yourself lucky. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us, watching all these episodes. Just a reminder, we're going to be live round 1 of the draft this year. So make sure you guys tune into YouTube that night. I believe we're going to be going live at 7:30. We'll be there for all of round 1, unless it goes crazy deep into the night. We'll be there for at least a significant portion of round 1, especially to see if the Browns are going to move back up late to snag anybody from pick 33. So make sure you guys are there for that. It's always a good time. We love doing the draft night episodes. Kenny Mack will be in studio with us, so it's going to be a good time. So we appreciate you guys being here, hanging out with us through all of the draft season free agency. Let us know what you guys think the Browns should do. Should they go quarterback? Should they go Hunter? When should they go get their quarterback? Or are you rolling with small hands Kenny Pickett? Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Again, find us on all the social media pages. Just search at the Dawgs Podcast, and more content, jointhedawgs.com. Again, we appreciate you being here. We'll see you guys sometime later next week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dawgs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedawgspodcast.com.
This episode is brought to you by Danger Coffee. Browns fans, we talk about how Danger Coffee is made free from mold toxins that are in 45% of the world's coffee, but that's not all that Danger Coffee has to offer. Mineral and nutrient deficiencies are a big deal. They make you feel sick, tired, stressed, and they can give you brain fog. These deficiencies negatively affect your immune system, your digestion, sleep, metabolism. Have you ever wondered why you get an initial burst from your coffee, but then you get that little crash not long after? Danger Coffee's patent-pending process remineralizes your body with more than 50 trace minerals and electrolytes, leaving you more energized, engaged, powerful. These micronutrients enter the cells to boost performance. They bind to toxins to provide detoxification support. I know that sounds like a lot, but the bottom line, guys, is minerals matter, and most of us really don't get enough of them on a daily basis. Danger Coffee delivers micronutrients, plus it gives you access to the minerals you already have. Head to dangercoffee.com, use our code DAWGS, D-A-W-G-S, for 10% off your order. And that code can be used over and over. So you get 10% off every order you make using code DAWGS. It's time to start every day off with a cup of coffee that gets you going and actually keeps you going. dangercoffee.com, code DAWGS.